Hello everybody, here we are today talking about the news of the Detroit Red Wings firing their head coach, Derek Lalonde, in his third season with the franchise. So before we get started with it, please make sure to subscribe if you're new to me, or hockey, whatever the case may be. That being said, let's get on into it. So major news coming out of Motown as the Red Wings are now the fourth NHL team to fire a head coach this year. There was kind of a gap between Lalonde and then, of course, Luke Richardson in early December, but this is one of those deals where you kind of expected this to be happening, as this team, Detroit, really was hoping for a big year after a 91-point season last year, and they looked to be maybe a side that could be a disruptor once the playoffs came around. If they made it, maybe they could be a dark horse that was able to go on a bit of a run. Again, I didn't really see it, but some people did, and the Red Wings are now looking like a side that definitely will not make the playoffs, as they are 13, 17, and 4 at this stage of the year. They are probably set to regress by quite a bit and are a team that is 8 points back of a final wildcard spot and have won just 3 out of their past 10 games. They're on a 3-game losing streak, and in general, you knew kind of the blame had to be placed on somebody's shoulders, and now, of course, Derek was that guy. And this is unfortunate for him because it comes a day after Christmas, but the reality is this team probably did need a change to be made. Overall, things are not looking very pretty for them. They are 29th in the league for goals for per 60. They are 8th in the league in goals against per 60. They have the second worst PK percentage in the league and have a variety of players that are just not living up to what you're hoping for them. Looking at guys like Vladimir Tarasenko, looking at guys like Patrick Kane especially, and then guys like Ben Sherratt. Not saying that Sherratt is a prime example here because, again, this goes back to what was Steve Yzerman thinking when he signed him to that deal. But with guys like Kane and Tarasenko, you're hoping for maybe difference makers, and right now they really don't look like they're set to be that. This team, too, with their past 3 games all ending in losses, with the most recent one being a 4-0 shutout to St. Louis, looks really bad. And part of the problem here is 2 of those 3 losses were back-to-back against Montreal, the Canadiens, a team that is in their division, the rivals with, and a side that has been below them in recent years. But instead, the Habs were able to pick up a couple of nice wins there. And if it wasn't for the Buffalo Sabres having a 13-game losing streak recently, maybe Detroit is that side that finds its way to the bottom of the Atlantic once again, which is not great because, again, they're thinking maybe we could be 4th or 3rd in the division. Instead, they're flirting with maybe 8th in the division this year, which would be a major regression. Now, is this team's roster construction perfect? No, I've said that before, but still, this is a side that looks like they could drop by like 20 points this year. And while there was never a truly terrible season before this, this is where you see results and expectations kind of catch up to a coach that really needed to have a good season, at the very least, probably, again, high 80s, low 90s in terms of points total, but they've moved on from him. Now, the replacement will be Todd McLellan, and this is a coach that is experienced over 1,100 games in the NHL as a coach, a guy that has seen winning in all 3 teams that he's been with and has gone to the playoffs with all 3 teams that he's been able to coach so far. San Jose, Edmonton, and Los Angeles, a trio of division titles with the Sharks at one point, and a guy that has been able to win in the postseason before too. Maybe not to the degree that you're hoping for, but for the Red Wings, they're really just trying to go out there and get to the playoffs. So by going out there and getting a guy that has seen success with 3 other franchises, maybe they're hoping for a 4th. And I think that this is going to be hard for Todd because this team doesn't look like they know how to win just yet. But maybe you could kind of circle back to like that 2017 Edmonton team that wasn't perfect before, after that, for a little bit there. But in that season, they kind of figured out how to win and made it to the playoffs and were on the verge of making it to the Western Conference Final. Mind you, Detroit does not have nearly the game-changing talent that Edmonton did at that stage. That'll be for a later date to see if the Red Wings are capable of doing anything, as maybe next year with McLellan, if he's still there, they could make a playoff appearance and then maybe do something, or even just winning around would kind of be a nice thing for this organization that needs a little bit of something to go right their way. Also, side note, this is the first time that McLellan has been the head coach of a team where they aren't in the Pacific Division, because again, San Jose, Edmonton, and LA. He's jumping over to the Eastern Conference now, so we'll see if maybe he can have more success out east. But I kind of wonder too, with Lalone, of course, being gone and Yzerman having to fire a guy that he hired, if more of that pressure is on him as his organization. I feel like he's been kind of patient and understanding things will take a little bit in a little while, but at the end of the day, a iconic player for a team can only bide so much time for themselves if the side is just really not looking like they will be out of a rebuild anytime soon. Kind of the case with Buffalo, like we saw this year compared to a couple of years ago. Had a good year and then have regressed since then. I don't know if the drop-off is as bad for the Red Wings just yet, but they do have a lot of younger players where Outside of them, are you thinking that some of these veteran guys can really be part of the midterm future? Probably not, and they're not that beneficial to the short-term future as well. So Derek Lalonde is a scapegoat for now, but we'll see how things pan out. So do you think that he is the main problem in the Motor City, or do you feel like this is a bigger problem within the organization? Let me know down below in the comments. Also, please let me know how you think Todd McCullough will do with this organization if they can make the playoffs with him. Also, please make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new. Everybody stay safe. Have a great night. And you love hockey, all right? Goodbye, Brigadiers and Brigadettes. This is your captain signing off. Have a great night.